You can make the case dominating the Golden Globes nominations. The streaming giant getting 17 nominations. HBO got 15 here. What stood out to several of us was the idea, Ed, that the traditional or conventional networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, and Fox, I don't know whether they got completely shut out, but they sure didn't show up among the top Golden Globe nominees in TV.
Yeah, no, that is the most stark thing here. In as much as, Netflix and HBO, they've been on this battle for years now in terms of who's getting the most. Netflix is coming out on top this time around. But usually you'd see the broadcasters represented in some form. Nothing this time. I think it's an indication of just exactly where prestige TV is headed, which is towards these streamers, which, there's a lot of artistic freedom. There's big paychecks. They can do sort of almost anything that they want. At the same time, it's becoming more crowded, right? So if you sign a deal with Netflix, you kind of want to hope that your series or your whatever it is gets good placement both on the home screen and whatever kind of advertising they do. If you got on NBC or ABC or CBS, you're almost guaranteed some kind of huge exposure because there's only so many hours in the day, there's only so much prime time, and if you got one of those shows picked up, you knew you were going to get seen. So despite the Netflix prestige and the paychecks and everything, I think the next fight, if you're a creator, is what kind of placement am I going to get? What kind of a marketing budget? Are you going to devote to what I'm doing? So even though they've won the awards, the next step will be the visibility.
And you think they'll continue to pay out more for content? 17 nominations. Yeah. I bet Reed Hastings, the CEO of Netflix, is very happy right now. Perhaps he'll loosen the purse strings even more if this strategy of bankrolling content to build up its independent library seems to be working.
Yeah, I think you're right, Seema. I think that, Reed Hastings, he's certainly happy about it, but, the way he sees it, this flywheel, the awards and things are nice. I think the awards nominations are a way to attract more talent, saying, hey, if you come work with us, you'll get noticed by the awards committees. At the same time, really, the spending, he at some point has to figure out, well, where do I cap the spending? When do I have enough owned library to keep driving subs? Because at some point, they can't keep this sort of negative cash flow burn. They're burning $3 to $4 billion a year. It's going to be like that next year. I think a year after that, I think they have to start sort of leveling that off.
All right, Ed, we leave it there. Ed Lee,
Sure.
We appreciate your time today.
Coming up on Power Lunch, a warning about global banks in 2020. We'll hear from the Moody's analyst who just turned negative. And speaking of negative, take a look at shares of Macy's losing half of their value this year. Is there any reason to believe a turnaround is finally coming? We'll be right back.
Friction points.
Sometimes in business, you have to take risks, but trading across borders and currencies shouldn't be one of them. With Western Union Business Solutions, we can help you manage the risk of doing business internationally. Our valuable experience, expert knowledge, and extensive global network makes us the ideal trusted partner for your business. And with our customer-focused support team, you'll receive a dedicated solution and personalized service. Visit westernunionbusiness.com. Western Union Business Solutions, a global financial network you can trust.
At Lidl, we're big on the sweetest Christmas and those happily ever afters, like our winter warmer deluxe mince pie strudel at just $2.99 and our deluxe espresso martini roulade for only $4.99. Big on a Christmas you can believe in. Now that's big on quality and always Lidl on price. Subject to availability, selected stores excludes an eye.
Did you know BT's business broadband comes with an always connected guarantee?
Always connected? I can't guarantee that. Nobody can.
BT can.
No, it's impossible. What if a squirrel bites through your cable?
That's when the 4G backup kicks in.
4G backup?
Yup.
Well, squirrels can't buy through 4G.
Exactly.
BT Business Broadband with the always connected, squirrel-proof guarantee. BT, beyond limits. Subject to availability. T's and C's apply.
Forget the cheese, basket, and socks this holiday season and get the ones you love and even the ones you just kind of like. A subscription to TuneIn Premium. With TuneIn Premium, you'll be giving them the gift they can enjoy all year long. Featuring live NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB games, commercial-free music, and even podcasts. TuneIn Premium brings the best in audio to you. This year, we're making Santa's job a whole lot easier. So forget the stocking. Stuff their phone with TuneIn Premium. Search Premium to upgrade today.
Upgrade to TuneIn Premium and get over 45 commercial-free music stations. You'll also get live commercial-free news, plus live play-by-play games from NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL. Visit TuneIn.com/premium to upgrade.
Hey, NFL fan, can't watch the game? Can't be there? No biggie. With your TuneIn Premium membership, you already have an all-access pass to every team and every game in the league. Amazing, right?
Steps up, floats it towards, at the goal line, it's intercepted!
Listen live as the action unfolds or on demand when you can. Anytime, anywhere, all season long.
Right side, it is caught. It is in for the right side for the touchdown to Keenan.
Search NFL today.
Welcome back to Power Lunch. I'm Mike Santoli at the New York Stock Exchange. Macy's hit with a downgrade to sell from Goldman Sachs today. Check out the stock. It has reversed losses to head higher on the day. So after a nearly 50% decline this year, is this a sign the bottom is in for the beaten-up retailer? Let's bring in your Trading Nation team, Craig Johnson of Piper Jaffray and Mark Tepper of Strategic Wealth Partners. So, Craig, I'll give you a first crack at this. Obviously bouncing on what would seem like a negative call out there. Any reason to think maybe this one has gotten sold out?
You know, Mike, at this point in time, I think I would be selling this relief rally just based upon our technical work. The stock is in a very well-defined downtrend at this point in time, and we're below a declining 200-day moving average. I see the best support on this stock actually coming in at $10, so I'm selling the relief rally at this point in time.
All right, yeah, $10, pretty big percentage move down from here if it were to get there. Mark, it's got close to a 10% dividend yield. Obviously, it looks cheap based on recent earnings trends. Market is essentially making the call, though, that that's in decline. So what do you think?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'd say if you want to buy a retailer, there's obviously much better options out there. Macy's is a dinosaur. They don't have a competitive advantage. I mean, mall traffic is in a structural decline. They have way too many stores. Most of their stores aren't even in A-class malls. No exclusive products, so they're forced to discount the merchandise they do have to move it. And then their fulfillment costs are higher than their competitors. And you know, really, if you think about it, the trend is for brands to go direct to consumer, so there's really no need for Macy's. You throw in the fact they've got too much debt, bad margins, and that dividend you mentioned that's just unsustainable, right? So within retail, I think where you want to be is you want to stick with strong brands. You want to stick with off-price, not these old-school department stores.
All right, nobody here looking to buck the negative consensus. We'll see how that stock continues to trade from here, guys. Thanks very much, Craig and Mark. For more Trading Nation, head to our website or follow us on Twitter at Trading Nation. Tyler, back over to you.
All right, Michael, thank you very much. And ahead on Power Lunch, a major warning from Moody's why the firm has cut its global banking outlook to negative. They will join us next to explain. Plus, Amazon coming to New York less than a year after pulling its HQ2 from Queens. But not everyone is happy with the news. Just like last time, we'll bring you the details. And a bad trip for travel stocks. They're getting crushed because of growing competition. We will discuss with the CEO of Kayak. All of this when Power Lunch returns.
And now, the latest from TradingNation.CNBC.com and a word from our sponsor.
Wedge patterns often signal inflection points for stocks. A bullish wedge occurs within an uptrend and consists of two converging trend lines slanted downwards. Conversely, a bearish wedge occurs in a downtrend and consists of two converging lines going up. I'm Lee Bohl, and Schwab is the better place for traders.
Sometimes in business, you have to take risks, but trading across borders and currencies shouldn't be one of them. With Western Union Business Solutions, we can help you manage the risk of doing business internationally. Our valuable experience, expert knowledge, and extensive global network makes us the ideal trusted partner for your business. And with our customer-focused support team, you'll receive a dedicated solution and personalized service. Visit westernunionbusiness.com. Western Union Business Solutions, a global financial network you can trust.
I'm Ben. I used to be homeless. I'd sleep in the train station, stuff newspapers in my clothes to keep warm. Sometimes I thought I wouldn't wake up. No one should have to live like this. The Crisis Christmas Centre was a safe place. We got hot meals, health checks and support. In the new year, they helped me find work and a home. This Christmas, you can reserve a place for someone who's homeless for just £28.87. Go to crisis.org.uk today and help someone like me take their first steps out of homelessness. Thank you.
Christmas. A time for celebrating, unwrapping and unwinding. Capture every moment with an epic iPhone 6S with a 12-megapixel camera. Now only $12.99 a month from Tesco Mobile, saving you £72. It's just one of the ways we're celebrating 100 years of great value. Go in store or search Tesco Mobile. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Saving £2 per month over 36 months was £14.99. 36-month credit and rolling monthly usage agreements required. Subject to status. Terms apply. See tescomobile.com/terms.
What better way to celebrate the holidays than with a subscription to TuneIn Premium? With a bottomless library of the world's best audio, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Search Premium to upgrade today.
When you're not listening to your team, take it to the end zone, the rim, or the net. Keep up with the biggest moments in sports by following TuneIn on social media.
Block, Cook into the end zone for the touchdown.
From reminders of the live top games to tips of the best sports stations and podcasts.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless.
Follow and tune in on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to get the most out of TuneIn.
Are you curious what others are listening to on TuneIn? Head to the trending section under Browse to see the most popular stations and podcasts among TuneIn listeners right now. Check it out. You might just discover something new for yourself.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sue Herrera. Here's your CNBC News update at this hour. The number of illegal migrants along the southwest border has fallen for the 6th month in a row. Customs and Border Patrol Acting Commissioner Mark Morgan giving an update in Washington this morning.
Total enforcement actions on the southwest border in November numbered 42,649. That's a decline of 6% from October.
French President Macron is hosting Russian President Putin in Paris, along with other world leaders, to discuss the conflict in Ukraine. Putin arrived at the Elysee Palace earlier this morning, and he met with Ukrainian President Zelensky to discuss a ceasefire in eastern Ukraine and the exchange of prisoners. A national park in the Netherlands is offering visitors a chance to come and chop down their own Christmas tree for free. They have set aside areas where the trees are threatening to overwhelm lands used by lizards, crickets, and other rare species. It's that time of year. That's the news update this hour. Ty, back to you.
Those look like rather sparse Christmas trees,
They are
Sue.
sparse Christmas trees, Ty, but they're free.
But then you protect the lizards.
That's it.
As a part of it.
And the crickets. Don't forget the crickets.
Don't forget the crickets. Where was that again?
In the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, Holland. Okay, great. Danish crickets. I mean, Hollandaise crickets. Hollandaise sauce. Not Hollandaise.
Oh, no, not on the crickets.
Not on the crickets. All right, markets right now. Let's look at the Dow, the S&P 500, and the NASDAQ, shall we? Moving on from the crickets, because that's what will happen. We'll only hear crickets if I keep talking this way.
I tried one. They were pretty good.
A cricket?
Into the office. Yeah,
You're
the chocolate-covered crickets.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I was not here that day, thank goodness. All right, Dow Industrials down 84, S&P down 7, and modest losses really across the board there of a 0.25 percentage point or thereabouts for all four. But it's the first time in several days we've seen a lot of red ink.
That's right. I'll draw your attention to the oil market closing for the day. Let's go to Dom Chu at the CNBC Commodity Desk. Hi, Dom.
All right, so SEMA, oil prices relatively steady so far, perhaps not all that surprising given what's been a nice near-term run
for both West Texas Intermediate and world benchmark Brent crude prices. You can see WTI $58.98, Brent crude prices $64.19. They're well off their worst levels of the day, which hit earlier on some weaker than expected data on exports out of China, which showed a decline for the fourth straight month. Now, Brent prices are up around 6% in just the last 6 days. The big headliner, though, in energy markets today, the massive drop in natural gasoline prices. You can see they're down about 4.5%, currently just around $2.23 per unit. This says the weather forecast for many parts of America starts to look unseasonably warmer than expected, possibly dampening that demand for gas and fuel oil for heating. Folks on the East Coast right now getting a taste on this week, with temperatures right now in the New York area slated to hit 60 degrees Fahrenheit tomorrow and into the 50s, Tyler, this weekend. Back over to you.
All right, let's get out on the golf course, Tom. How about that?
Let's do it.
All right, Dom Chu, thank you. We got a news alert to tell you about. Morgan Stanley is about to cut 2% of its workforce or thereabouts because of an uncertain global economic, according to people with knowledge of the situation. The job cuts will hit technology and operations roles the hardest, and CNBC.com reporter Hugh Son breaks the story just moments ago. Let's bring him in for more. What do you know here, and where are these cuts likely to take place? Are they mostly domestic or are they global? Where?
A couple of things. So we understand that they're spread globally. So they've got about 60,500 people headcount across the world. And, you know, what we think is going to happen is they're going to focus on people in operations, people without front office responsibilities. So less traders and salespeople and investment bankers and rainmakers, and more people in the background who sort of make everything run, but who are a bit more of a commodity.
Are you surprised, though, that these cuts are coming from Morgan Stanley's technology practice at a time when these banks are facing a lot of competition from some of the big technology companies in Silicon Valley? Sure. Case in point, Facebook, because they tried to unveil a digital payments product that would rival a lot of these banks. Yeah, absolutely. It can't be great morale and not a great sort of calling card to try to hire away from Facebook and Google if, you know, they understand that they have to cut back a little bit. Now, 2% is, by my math, about 1,200 people. So it's not massive for an organization that's about 60,000. However, my understanding is that this is essentially what happens every year around this time. You know, instead of wanting to pay somebody both bonus and severance, well, they figure, well, if we cut them before the end of the year, perhaps they could just pay their severance and get away without paying bonus. This is sort of the leaving season on Wall Street.
Are you hearing that these kinds of moves might be afoot at other places, or is there any inkling that that's happening?
So certainly, you know, my sense is every year around this time, between December and say February, that people get cut because they figure out their sort of budgets for 2020. And, you know, as we know that, you know, in terms of the trading revenue, that outlook hasn't been great for the past 5 years.
Yeah. All right, Hugh Son, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
And for more on Hugh's coverage of Morgan Stanley, you can go to CNBC.com. Global uncertainty is one of the reasons Moody's is out with a warning on banks today. The firm cutting its global banking outlook for next year from negative to stable. It cites a slowdown in long-term economic growth, low interest rates, and geopolitical uncertainty related to the trade war, among other things. Here now is Andre Usai. He's Associate Managing Director at Moody's. Andrea, welcome. Good to have you with us.
Hello.
Are most of these problems that you see or have identified in the global banking system outside of the United States, or are many of them located here too?
Yes, absolutely. So the global outlook refers effectively to, it reflects our view of the global banking sector, and as you said, we changed it to negative from stable previously. But if you look actually at different regions, there are mixed, the picture is mixed. So for example, for US banks, our outlook remains stable for next year.
Do you think the outcome of the UK election, Andrea, on Thursday could have implications for Brexit and therefore some of the European financials?
Yes, absolutely. The effectively geopolitical risk and domestic political risk, as well as trade tension, is obviously one of the big sources of uncertainties for the banks that we have highlighted and incorporated in our negative outlook for global banks for next year.
How much of the problem that you see in these global banks traces to macroeconomic factors on the one hand, and then on the other to the idea that maybe some of those banks in some countries were not regulated as staunchly as they were here in the United States, that they haven't taken some of the cleanup steps that were taken here to put American banks on firmer footing? Tell me about that.
Yeah, they are both equally important. Obviously, the slowdown in long-term trend of growth is obviously a big centerpiece of our global outlook. Certainly, for you banks, they're actually facing some of these pressures from a very, very strong position. In other countries, if you look in other countries, the situation is very different. If you look, for example, at Europe, there remain a number of challenges, mostly due to slower economic growth, but also lower interest rate for a much longer period of time than in the US.
Andrea, your reaction to this news just hitting the wires that Hugh Sun laid out for us, that Morgan Stanley is making cuts to its workforce?
It actually fits perfectly with our assessment of the profitability of US banks. We think that profitability will continue to be challenged by the declining interest rates, but banks have levers that they can actually pull to mitigate these pressures, and cutting costs is one of them.
Andrea Yusa, thank you very much for being with us. We appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
You bet.
Amazon is coming to New York City. After all, the company will lease office space and hire about 1,500 workers, a far cry from the 25,000 HQ2 was expected to employ, but it is part of a bigger push by tech companies to expand their footprint into New York City. Robert Frank has all the details. Hi, Robert.
Yeah, Seema, you have kind of a new Silicon Alley emerging on Manhattan's west side. You got the three big tech giants planning over 3.5 million square feet of space in the coming years, starting with Amazon announcing plans to lease about 335,000 square feet on 34th and 10th Avenue. That's going to house about 1,500 employees. That comes as Facebook considers leasing 700,000 square feet just a couple blocks away at the old post office building across from Penn Station. That follows its announcement last month for 1.5 million square feet in the nearby Hudson Yards development. The total footprint for Facebook now over 3 million square feet in Manhattan. Then you go further south and you got Google building a 1.7 million square foot campus in the West Village that adds to its existing buildings in Chelsea, where it has over 700,000 square feet. And there's a lot more to come. Google expecting to need 7 million square feet of space in the coming decade, or enough for 46,000 employees. And it couldn't come at a better time for New York City commercial and residential real estate. You've got WeWork's trouble raising questions over the future of that company's more than 7 million square feet of space. And the residential and real estate prices have been falling for 2 years. You've got 20 million square feet of commercial space coming online in the next 5 years.
That's really been the thing. The supply that you've seen just every day popping up in this city.
Yeah, the inventory on both the residential and the commercial side.
Not that it's cheap. It's still not cheap at all.
No. And commercial is sort of stabilized with prices, but WeWork was the marginal buyer of added space. With them out of the picture, these tech firms are now coming in. And these numbers are huge.
AOC, did she get the last laugh here or no?
I don't think so. She was that was not Manhattan, and Long Island City is a much tougher sell. That's where they really want jobs and development. And two, you're talking about 25,000 jobs that would have brought HQ2 versus the 1,500 that they're going to bring.
Yeah,
all right, Robert, thank you very much. Robert Frank. And coming up on our tasting menu, a new pothead. Don't name your mutual fund after a zebra, and a story involving a dog, a cop, car, and a Tesla. All of this is going to make sense to you in 2 minutes, I promise.
Christmas, a time for celebrating, unwrapping, and unwinding. Capture every moment with an epic iPhone 6s with a 12-megapixel camera. Now only $12.99 a month from Tesco Mobile, saving you £72. It's just one of the ways we're celebrating 100 years of great value. Go in store or search Tesco Mobile. Tesco Mobile. Every little helps.
Saving £2 per month over 36 months was £14.99. 36-month credit and rolling monthly usage agreements required. Subject to status. Terms apply. See tescomobile.com/terms.
Dear Dad, Merry Christmas. Thank you for always doing everything you could to make this time of year special for us. No one has a Christmas jumper collection quite like yours. Your festive spirit...
Gingerbread latte with 2 shots and nutmeg whipped cream for Joe.
I hope it snows. I know how you love a white Christmas. All my love, Joe. Heartfelt can happen anywhere with moonpig.com. Download the app and get 20% off when you buy a card and gift this Christmas. Use code HEARTFELT20. Exclusions apply.
Forget the cheese basket and socks this holiday season and get the ones you love and even the ones you just kind of like. A subscription to TuneIn Premium. With TuneIn Premium, you'll be giving them the gift they can enjoy all year long. Featuring live NFL, NBA, NHL, and MLB games, commercial-free music, and even podcasts. TuneIn Premium brings the best in audio to you. This year, we're making Santa's job a whole lot easier. So forget the stocking. Stuff their phone with TuneIn Premium. Search Premium to upgrade today.
From ESPN and the award-winning producers of The Sterling Affairs comes the latest season of 30 for 30 podcasts. 4 brand new stories of espionage.
He wanted this team to be the Barcelona of women's basketball.
Resilience.
I started to scream. I tried to get away.
Corruption.
It's the culture of win at all costs.
And rebirth.
How will we ever rebuild it?
30 for 30 Podcasts, Season 6. Listen in favorite 30 for 30 podcasts on TuneIn.
Hey, NFL fan, can't watch the game? Can't be there? We've got you covered. With TuneIn Premium, you can listen to every NFL game live as it's happening.
LaShawn McCoy has an opening on the right side, punches into the end zone for the touchdown.
Or catch it later on demand.
Offset backs behind Mahomes. The give is to Williams. Starts right, cuts it back to the left, and blows into the end zone for the touchdown.
You call the plays. Follow the NFL anytime, anywhere, all season long with TuneIn Premium. Upgrade today.
In the stock market and in life, everything can change from 1 minute to the next. Be the first to hear the latest money news and market trends with CNBC on TuneIn. Wherever your day takes you, listen to CNBC's full slate of programming, including shows like Fast Money, Squawk Box, and Mad Money with Jim Cramer. And when the next big business story breaks, CNBC lets you know with live updates and commentary. At the office, at home, or on the go. Search CNBC on TuneIn to listen.
Today, McDonald's naming Kathy Engelbert to its board. She becomes the 3rd woman on the board, and the move comes after CEO Steve Easterbrook was fired for a relationship with an employee that violated company policy. But those moves far from the only changes at McDonald's. Kate Rogers has more on McDonald's 2.0.
Hey guys, I believe we're supposed to roll a package here.
2019 was the year of the deal for McDonald's.
Welcome to McDonald's. What can I help you today?
The restaurant made 3 major tech investments to take its modernization efforts to the next level, looking to speed up service times in its drive-thrus, which account for 70% of its sales, and personalize orders in an increasingly competitive restaurant landscape. First, acquiring Dynamic Yield, its largest deal in 2 decades, valued at more than $300 million. The Decision Logic company will change McDonald's digital menu boards based on different factors, including weather and restaurant traffic. It's now in 9,000 locations in the U.S., nearly 2/3 of McDonald's footprint. We took the technology for a spin in Brooklyn.
Hi, welcome to McDonald's. What can I help you today?
Hey there, can I please have an Egg McMuffin and a medium black coffee? The goal is to get people through faster and to personalize the experience. Dynamic Yield suggested items that might go well with my order. Next up, an investment in mobile app vendor Plexure, which powers the McDonald's mobile app in 48 countries outside of the U.S. The move also restricts Plexure from providing similar services to competitors in the space like Burger King and Wendy's. The next deal announced in September was acquiring Apprente, a company that uses AI to understand drive-thru orders. The restaurant giant also announced the creation of McD Tech Labs as a part of McDonald's global tech team. The company said it's looking to grow its presence in Silicon Valley by hiring more engineers and data scientists. But one big question remains. What does the overhaul and technology investment look like with Steve Easterbrook, the visionary CEO who put this plan in place, now abruptly gone?
It looks like new CEO Chris Kempczinski is planning to stay the course. In a recent letter to McDonald's employees obtained by CNBC, he said he has confidence in the, quote, relevance and strength of the Velocity growth plan, and he believes that the company is on the right path. And we know technology is becoming more and more important to all of these restaurant brands. Really interesting to see all of these moves that McDonald's has made in 2019 alone.
70% of sales come through their drive-thru.
Their drive-thru, which is why they made that acquisition, Dynamic Yield, largest in 2 decades, more than $300 million to speed that up, personalize it, make it better.
And explain that to me again. It will tweak the menu so that because it knows what I've ordered in the past, or just because it knows what might work with what I've bought? Or
so
what?
they look at what you've ordered, not just you, what customers typically order that go well with the items that you've just placed. So they'll do that pop-up suggestion. Yes, it'll suggest things that might go well with that, like a hash brown, for example. Another thing that will eventually do is suggest things based on time of day and how long the line is in the drive-through, also the weather, because they want to improve those speeds to get you through even quicker. So there's a customer service angle there as well.
I guess we have to see when it starts helping the stock, because it's really underperformed some of the other food-related names.
That's right. It's up about 10% year to date. Very different story than what we've seen in the past 2 years. But again, they're talking more and more about leaning into technology. This MICD Tech Labs expanding their presence in Silicon Valley. That's not really something you hear a lot of restaurant brands outright saying. They're really pointing to the future, going in that direction at McDonald's for sure.
Okay, thank you. And here's a taste, yes, after the restaurant story, of some of the other stories we're following today. The new year set to bring in a new CEO for Canopy Growth. The cannabis company announced that David Klein will take on the new position in January. Klein leaving his post as the CFO of Constellation Brands, which currently owns 38% of Canopy. Shares of Canopy sky high after today's announcement. A new guy experienced in the business can't hurt.
Yeah, and this comes after Constellation put $5 billion into Canopy last November. So this is their way of trying to have a larger say in these decisions that are taking place at the company, especially as they deal with a lot of regulation in different markets.
For sure.
The ABCs of retirement planning are creating biases in investing. A new report says that 401k plan participants are more likely to invest in mutual funds at the top of the alphabetical list. Funds named at the top receive an average of 10% more money than those at the bottom of the list. Researchers say more strategic lists could help participants find better plan options.
Seems a little crazy. You pick by the letter, so avoid Zebra Fund or ZZZ Fund. All right, or ZZ Top.
Yes.
Tesla dealing with an autopilot accident. A Tesla owner hit a Connecticut State Trooper car over the weekend. You'd never really want to do that, Seema, hit a trooper. Police say the driver was checking on his dog in the back seat before ramming into the rear of the trooper's vehicle. No one happily seriously injured in the crash. However, it does raise questions on the safety of self-driving cars. Despite the crash, the stock is up around 1%.
This is not the first time, apparently, that a Tesla vehicle has crashed while on autopilot. But as you point out, not what you would want to crash into.
You don't want to hit
all the cars out there.
No, you don't want to hit a trooper.
Coming up on Power Lunch, we're talking to the CEO of Kayak about all of the travel industry's issues right now, including a Google change that has all the travel companies scratching their heads. We're back in 2.
What better way to celebrate the holidays than with a subscription to TuneIn Premium? With a bottomless library of the world's best audio, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Search Premium to upgrade today.
Start hearing more of what you want. Upgrade to TuneIn Premium and get over 45 commercial-free music stations, live commercial-free news, and every live NFL, MLB, NBA, and NHL game. Visit TuneIn.com/premium to upgrade.
Hey, NFL fan, can't watch the game? Can't be there? No biggie. With your TuneIn Premium membership, you already have an all-access pass to every team and every game in the league. Amazing, right?
Steps up, floats it towards, at the goal line, it's intercepted!
Listen live as the action unfolds, or on demand when you can. Anytime, anywhere, all season long.
Right side, it is caught, it is in for the right side for the touchdown.
Search NFL today.
Tis the season for lights, presents, gingerbread houses, and, most importantly, news. TuneIn has commercial-free news from MSNBC, Fox, CNN, and CNBC with TuneIn Premium.
It's an update to a story we brought you yesterday. It's the toe-to-toe battle.
Starbucks, which almost never gives out anything.
Which is also listed in Syria at about $1 billion. Let TuneIn spread the holiday cheer all month long. Upgrade to TuneIn Premium today. Ho, ho, ho.
Hey, NFL fan, can't watch the game? Can't be there? No biggie. With your TuneIn Premium membership, you already have an all-access pass to every team and every game in the league. Amazing, right?
Steps up, floats it towards, at the goal line, it's intercepted!
Listen live as the action unfolds or on demand when you can. Anytime, anywhere, all season long.
Right side, it is caught. It is in for the right side for the touchdown to Keenan.
Search NFL today.
From ESPN and the award-winning producers of The Sterling Affairs comes the latest season of 30 for 30 podcasts. 4 brand new stories of espionage.
He wanted this team to be the Barcelona of women's basketball.
Resilience.
I started to scream. I tried to get away.
Corruption.
It's the culture of win at all costs.
And rebirth.
How will we ever rebuild it?
30 for 30 Podcasts, Season 6. Listen in favorite 30 for 30 podcasts on TuneIn.
Welcome back to Power Lunch. It's been a bad trip for travel stocks. Online booking companies like Expedia, TripAdvisor, and Booking Holdings feeling the pain from changes in Google's search algorithm to favor its own flight and hotel products. While the market is perched near record highs, the travel sector is lagging behind. TripAdvisor falling 55% off its 52-week high. Expedia and Booking Holdings are 24% and 8% off their respective highs. Let's bring in Steve Hoffner, the co-founder and CEO of Kayak, a subsidiary of Booking Holdings. Steve, thank you for joining us on Power Lunch.
It's my pleasure, Seema. Thank you.
As Google becomes more aggressive, what are you doing as the head of Kayak to stay more competitive?
We're not doing much differently, actually. We've been partners of Google for 15 years on the Kayak side and 20 years on the OpenTable side, and we've always remained a couple steps ahead of them on the product. So what we really want to do is have consumers have reasons to use our services versus the Google flavor of them. And on the travel side, that means better search results, more powerful filtering and sorting functions. On the OpenTable side, it means more restaurants and easier reservations.
You know, the ousting of the CEO and CFO of Expedia last week seems to be symptomatic. Whether you see Google as a threat or not, it seems to be symptomatic of this threat from Google as it tries to push its results. We know Barry Diller, the chairman of Expedia, is looking for a candidate outside of the company. Would you take that job if it was offered to you?
I'm very content with my existing job at Kayak and OpenTable, and particularly being a direct report of Glenn Fogel. You know, I think Expedia is a great company. They've been a wonderful partner of Kayak's for many years. I know Mark personally. He's a great guy. I don't know the circumstances of his leaving the company or for, who Barry Diller is going to pick next. But whoever it is, I'm looking forward to working with them.
But what type of skills or characteristics does this new CEO need to have at a time when Expedia is really feeling the pain right now?
Well, I think if you put a really smart, capable person there, overall the travel business is very healthy. Expedia is a great brand, and I think they can right the ship on that company. But I'm much more focused on what I can do to make Kayak and OpenTable even more successful.
As we watch Google, Amazon now testing out flights in India. Are you worried about the entrance of Amazon into the online travel sector, as though you guys needed another competitor?
I'm not worried about Amazon. It's a great company. They do a lot of things very well. Travel historically has not been one of them. So they've tried multiple times in the North American market to get into the game and without any success. So, we're attentive to what they're doing. We'll watch it. But, I think the core efforts that we are pursuing at Kayak, like Kayak for Business, like Kayak Premium Accommodations, will keep us ahead of them as well.
How are you preparing for what will likely be the biggest moment in online travel, and that is Airbnb going public next year?
Yeah, I don't know that that's the biggest moment in online travel. I as an entrepreneur myself, I've taken a couple of travel companies public. I'm rooting for Brian. I think it's great to see Airbnb finally come out, and we'll see what their market valuation really is. But, as a competitor to him in some ways, I'm also eager to see what their financial reports look like so we can get some visibility into their operations. So welcome to the party, Brian.
But short-term rentals, highly regulated, fragmented, given the recent rules released here in New Jersey. I mean, you think this is just a sign of more to come in 2020?
Well, I think short-term rentals is a category now that's gotten a lot of consumer traction. Airbnb didn't invent it. HomeAway and Vrbo and even Booking.com, our sister company, have had those that content on their sites for many, many years. But I think it's big enough now that a lot of regulators are giving it additional scrutiny. And I think the industry as a whole welcomes that scrutiny. We all want to have a level playing field. We all want to have consistent rules and regulations in place. And, I think we need to pay taxes on that stuff too. The one thing in the short-term rental space that I think the world is looking for is consistency and reliability in the service offering. And that's why we recently launched Kayak Premium, which is an attempt to endorse, if you will, certain properties so that consumers can feel more comfortable picking them.
How are you going to differentiate your suite of products from the competition? When I go on and I use a flight search site, they all seem roughly to be the same to me.
That's true if you're just looking and snacking, so you're just looking for a quick price quote. But if you're actually about to open your wallet and plunk down $500 for a ticket or two, for example, you want to make sure you're getting the right price and you've seen all your options. And I think at Kayak, we've done very well at this for the last 15 years and making sure that we show you everything. So Google, for example, their Achilles heels, they want to show it to you fast. And as a result, they will drop a lot of results on the floor, or they won't have the consistent accuracy that Kayak has. So if you're snacking on content, by all means, you can use a lot of different sites. But if you're actually ready to buy, you better check Kayak.
All right. We'll leave it there. Steve, thanks for joining us today. Steve Kaufner, CEO of Kayak.
Check, please.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Tyler.
Oh, you bet, Steve. Check, please is next.
Sometimes in business, you have to take risks, but trading across borders and currencies shouldn't be one of them. With Western Union Business Solutions, we can help you manage the risk of doing business internationally. Our valuable experience, expert knowledge, and extensive global network makes us the ideal trusted partner for your business. And with our customer-focused support team, you'll receive a dedicated solution and personalized service. Visit westernunionbusiness.com. Western Union Business Solutions, a global financial network you can trust.
What better way to celebrate the holidays than with a subscription to TuneIn Premium? With a bottomless library of the world's best audio, it's the gift that keeps on giving. Search Premium to upgrade today.
This is not a commercial. This is a reminder. With TuneIn Premium, you could be listening to more music commercial-free. Get over 45 commercial-free music stations. Visit tunein.com/premium to upgrade.
Introducing a new podcast, ESPN Daily. When you want to go beyond your feed, when you want to get inside the score, when you want to get behind the highlight, there's ESPN Daily. Go deeper into the stories of the moment. Get the exclusive access and insider perspective that only ESPN can give you. ESPN Daily, hosted by me, Mina Kimes. Listen and favorite ESPN Daily on TuneIn.
Ho, ho, ho! Want to make Santa's job a whole lot easier this year? TuneIn Premium is the gift your loved ones can enjoy all year long. Featuring commercial-free news from MSNBC, Fox, CNN, and CNBC, plus music, podcasts, and live sports. TuneIn Premium brings the best audio to you. Forget the stocking. And stuff their phone with the Everything Audio app. Search Premium to upgrade today.
Pascal gobbles up the rebound and slams it down.
Catch your favorite NBA team right here on TuneIn.
A step back deep three is up and in.
Search NBA on TuneIn and hear all the action. The NBA lives on TuneIn.
The puck drops. 12 players face off to win. The suspense is pure torture, but you wouldn't miss this for the world. TuneIn brings you every minute of the NHL season. Listen live to hockey when it matters most on TuneIn.
Stock is up about 6% today. It's had a little bit of a rockier week after